Hi guys, Miss Mac here again, going over example 3. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this by now. I am going to go over the graphing and the algebraic ways to do this. Starting with the graphing, I'm going to plot the points -2, -1, and the point -1, -4. And I've got this line right here. Oh, it didn't hit very well. That's okay. So we know it hits here and we know it hits here. So what I'm going to do is I need to use this graph to get my slope and my y-intercept. So if I'm looking first for my slope, and I'm going to use where I know the points are, this point to this point, I go down and I go to the right. So I go down 3, so my rise is -3, and my run is a +1. So I know that my slope is -3/1, which would be -3. Now, the problem is with this one, when I look at my graph, I can't exactly tell where my graph hits the y-axis. I could estimate down 3 and right 1 again and figure out where that is. But because I can't figure that one out, I'm going to go ahead and use the algebraic method to figure that out. I know it's got to be down here about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About -7 is where I think that's going to be. So I'm going to use my algebra to check it out. So the first thing I'm going to do with my algebra is I am going to find my slope. I'm going to call this x1, y1, and x2, y2. And I'm going to find my slope. So my slope is going to be -4 minus -1 over -1 minus -2. It's easy to mess up. I'm sorry, I already messed up. -1 minus -2. It's really easy to mess up with your signs, so you got to be careful when you have all those negatives. Minus -1 is really going to be -4 plus 1, so that's a -3 on top. On the bottom, minus -2 becomes +2, and when I add those two numbers together, I get 1. So my slope is -3. And that's good because that's what I found over here when I found my slope. So now I'm going to take my slope of -3, and I'm going to take my point. Let's use this one. So my point is going to be -1, -4, and I'm going to fill those numbers into my equation, which is y equals mx plus b. So this is the third time we've done this with these examples. I know I have my m, I know this is x, and this is y. So my equation will be -4 equals -3 times -1 plus b. So -4 equals 3 plus b, which tells me b is -7. And if you remember, that's what I thought it looked like it should be on the graph. So now my equation for my final answer, let's do this in green. I don't know how well this will show up, is y equals -3x minus 7. And I can write that on both of these. Even though I didn't get the whole thing by graphing, I knew that I had to be close to about -7 as I was looking at that. So this is how you can do this problem again. It's why you need to know your algebraic method, because sometimes you don't have a graph that's big enough or you can't tell exactly where things are. So this algebra over here will always work. The graph will sometimes, if it's easy enough numbers and if you happen to have graph paper. So take a look at these. If you still need help, make sure you ask, and don't hesitate to look back at these problems when you're doing your Schoology problems. Thanks. Bye-bye.